Good morning! This video is going to explore line. It is an element of art and design, and a really important one, especially considering that it creates so much of what we draw and explore. So the first thing I want to do with you is to brainstorm what types of lines we have or can create. Okay, so I'm going to give you a moment to have a think about that while I give us some places to put your answers. Okay, now I know of course this is not a live brainstorm, but hopefully you are thinking about different types of lines. So here we've got a whole lot of words to describe different types of lines. An activity that I'd like you to do now is to take an A4 piece of paper, so similar size to this one, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold the page in half, both ways, and half in this direction. And then you're going to fold the longer side in one more time, so we've got 8 boxes, or 8 rectangles or segments on your page, okay? Be very careful, fold them with care so that they're even. You've got straight edges and corners to line up. Now your paper may not have been pulled out of a sketchbook, so do not worry. And then put it flat on the table, probably with the folds facing up so that it doesn't fold up on you, okay, which maybe get a little bit annoying. Okay, let's look back at our brainstorm. So we're going to pick 8 of these ideas and explore them by drawing, okay? Understand what types of lines we can have or use, and let's get creative. Okay, so I'm going to do some examples. I'm not going to do all 8 for you, but I'm going to do some that you may not be aware of. The first one I am going to start off with is repetitive. Okay, the idea that you can use repeated line to create maybe the feeling of a surface or a texture. So I'm going to do a combination of straight lines and repeated lines, okay? So I hope that looks to you possibly like a surface that is folding and has creases, rather than just a series of lines that are approximately parallel, okay? That alignment where the lines kind of stop, it feels like a crease, and actually my line is broken. It's not a consistent zigzag like, oh, my pen's run out, like that. Okay, so this whole activity can be done with a pen or a pencil. You do not have to have a fancy, any fancy equipment, okay? The next one I'm going to play around with is the idea of a continuous line, okay? A line that doesn't stop or break like what I used here. And that could be used to draw something. It could be used to draw a face. Pablo Picasso actually used this quite often, and I'm going to try out drawing my headphones. Okay? So one line created that drawing, a continuous line. What we're going to play around with is the idea of an implied line, so the feeling of a line, but not necessarily one that is a continuous or a full line. So I'm going to use these little curls or curves of little short lines, but I'm going to arrange a multiple of them beside one another. And once you see them, because of their closeness or proximity, they give a feeling that they are a line, even though they're not. Well, I said I was going to do loopy, but there's another one that I do want us to play around with as well. And line can give a sense of direction. Okay, think of arrows, think of a road. So if I put a strong line, I'm going to make it a bit wider so it has a little bit more weight on my arrangement, and I might actually do a little cheeky return on the line as well. It starts to hint at that symbol that I just mentioned before that is very recognizable by us, which is an arrow. Okay, so you can make that a little bit stronger, give a sense of direction. Okay, direction can also be created by movement, a sense of something moving. This has a little bit of a sense of movement, something folding, something shifting. This has a little bit of sense of movement because our eyes actually follow that line. So to create movement, the designer has used, or the artist has used, a line to create that movement within the design. So if you think of a curved line, see how these are disjointed, they're not connected to one another. Our eye still kind of travels up this one, and then it drops down and follows that one, okay? And especially because we read left to right, okay? You can think about that as well. With the impact and the impression of line, it can really take us across a design, whether it be 2D or 3D. So, I challenge you to fold your page into 8 segments and return back to this brainstorm to get you started, looking at the power of line and the different types of lines that there are, to explore with your own expression within these different segments on your page. We will all create and come up with different ideas and use of these different types of line. Okay, I look forward to seeing the outcomes.